Is this Otto Octavius' greatest plan to defeat Spider-Man ever? Will the die finally be cast? Or will Otto be forced to relearn the same lessons that made him superior in the first place? Well, let's hop into the pages of Superior Spider-Man issue number 2 and find out together, shall we? So then, picking up from where the last issue left off, Anne-Marie Marconi is desperately trying to get to Times Square to try and warn Spider-Man about the true secret origins of Supernova and her connection to Otto. Of course, everyone and their mother is running away from that part of the city right now, so everyone thinks she's positively crazy for trying to get in there, but it seems that she truly does have the information that could make all the difference right now. Speaking of Supernova, and Peter thought he was very clever at the end of the last issue by just turning back into civilian mode. After all, Supernova has a grudge with Spider-Man, so if Spider-Man's not around, surely she'll stop her rampage, right? Only, no, that's not the case at all. Estrella is so pissed off she decides she's going to burn down an entire city block unless Spider-Man comes out and faces her. That's pretty bad, but making matters worse is Spider-Boy, against Peter's direct orders, is actually still out there in the streets right now trying to help people, meaning that he is directly in the crosshairs of Supernova. Spider-Man tries to rush on in and help Bailey, only for him to be taken aside by Dr. Octopus, choosing now to finally strike against Peter now that his memories have fully returned, and he's starting to get that familiar superior feeling all over again. I actually really like this exchange right now because up until now, Otto basically had the perfect plan: sit back and let Supernova kill his hated enemy for him. But yet somewhere buried deep down in Dr. Octopus's mind, he just can't let himself be shown up, especially now that he feels he may finally be able to take Spider-Man out once and for all. Not only are his arms stronger than they've ever been, but now that Otto actually remembers all the time he spent as Peter, he knows what Spider-Man is going to do before he himself does it, giving him a great edge in this fight. Peter doesn't care about himself though right now. All he wants to do is save the life of his young impressionable sidekick. Hell, even Ock reads him the riot act, saying what kind of stupid Spider-Man would ever get a kid involved in this sort of dangerous life. Why, they even call back to the backup story from the previous issue wherein Superior Spider-Man actually turned Spider-Boy away early on in his career. They also do a great job in this split panel drawing parallels between Spider-Boy and Supernova. After all, they both are assistants and sidekicks to their respective Spider-Mans, and now it seems like they're gonna kill each other. Well, actually, it's a little bit more complicated than that. Estrella says that she only wants revenge on Spider-Man, but if Spider-Boy keeps getting in her way, she can't control her powers all the time, and there's no promise that he'll be safe. Peter himself is actually surprisingly upbeat during the beatdown that Otto gives him, basically saying, "Why should I be scared of you? I have beaten you so many times before when you thought you had the greatest plan ever. Why is this going to be any different?" All of this obviously ends up getting under Otto's skin in a major way, but right before he can finally deliver the killing blow to Spider-Man, he ends up getting stopped by Anne-Marie, who finally makes the scene. Otto still very much clearly having feelings for this woman, and her appearance starting to stir up a bunch of his own inner better angels at the moment, and allowing Peter the upper hand to kind of just hit the Doctor in the balls. Anne-Marie does everything she can to get Peter up to speed on everything that's going on between the former Superior Spider-Man and this brand new villain Supernova. Not that it helps all that much. Peter knows that he wasn't originally this lady's target, but at the same time, there's not much he can do. Hell, Anne-Marie again proves to be one of the best characters in this entire series when Supernova once again gets inside Peter's face. What does she do? She pulls down his sleeve to hide his web shooter. Supernova is only growing angrier and more unstable as time goes on. She figures that Peter might not be Spider-Man, but he does work for him. So to get what she wants, Estrella plans to kidnap Anne-Marie and give Peter 24 hours to deliver her message to Spider-Man or else. Naturally, this puts one hell of a ticking clock on Peter right now, but unfortunately he has other things to attend to, mainly the health and well-being of his sidekick, who is almost at death's door now. Peter is forced to take the kid to the hospital and then pretend like he doesn't know who he is. Worse still, even the doctors read Spider-Man the Riot Act, saying how unbelievably reckless it is to let a kid like this out in the field when there's so much dangerous stuff always going on in Marvel's New York. Thankfully, he'll pull through thanks to his meta biology. And when he comes to, Bailey is all apologetic to Peter for going against his words and getting out there in the field before he was ready. At the same time, though, Spider-Man can't exactly be too mad at the kid because, you know, standing by and letting a bad thing happen that he had the power to stop is kind of the entire impetus around, you know, all of Spider-Man. So Pete would sure seem like one hell of a hypocrite if he really raked the kid over the coals on this one. Now that's one problem dealt with, but sadly it still doesn't fix the Anne-Marie problem. how is Spider-Man going to save her? Well, crazy twist, he's not going to have to do it alone, as it's at that very moment Otto shows up again and pitches the idea of a team-up, saying that Anne-Marie is the only thing he's ever actually loved and cared about, and the only way they're going to defeat Supernova and put right what Otto put wrong is if they work together. And just to sell how serious he is about this meeting of the minds, Otto even gives Peter an old version of the Superior Spider-Man costume for him to put on as the comic comes to an end. And so that was Superior Spider-Man issue number 2, everybody, and overall I thought this was another very strong issue from Dan Slott. I'm still a little confused about who exactly the main character in this book is supposed to be. We sure do spend a lot of time with Peter and Spider-Boy in a book that's called Superior Spider-Man, and yet at the same time I actually am kind of loving Peter having more to do in the story and having more skin in the game. It's the complete opposite of what we're seeing over in the Zeb Wells book. It's also kind of cool too to see Otto organically forced to relearn some of the lessons about heroism that he had learned during his time as the Superior Spider-Man, and once again it all comes down to Anne-Marie being the thing that actively makes Otto want to be a better person out of love, and I mean there's just something so perfect about that. It worked in the original story and it works here too as well. Better still, Anne-Marie isn't used as just some simple damsel in distress. She's actually really useful, helping out Peter every step of the way and kind of being the linchpin of this whole story so far. Hell, I'm even enjoying the juxtaposition of Supernova and Spider-Boy. One is a sidekick gone very bad, and one is a sidekick who could very well go very good. Overall, I feel comfortable giving this issue another 8 out of 10. I never know what to expect when I pick up the Superior Spider-Man book, and honestly, there's something kind of endearing about that. Especially as we head into the end of this first arc, and there's still no sign in sight of whether or not Otto will actually get a brand new Peter body, or if this book is just going to be more thematically about Superior Spider-Man than a straight-up retread of the old series.
Hey there everyone, it's your pal Cape Joel again, and if you're seeing my face right now, that means you watched to the end of the video, and I'll always be grateful for that. Retention helps in this crazy YouTube game, and so does becoming a patron. If you head on down to the description, you can find a link to my Patreon page. Recently just redid all the tiers, a lot of cool stuff offering up there, exclusive commentaries, exclusive polls, behind the scenes concept art for Capes and Quest. That's the brand new D&D show I've started soon. Never been a better time to become a patron. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month and help the channel grow and, help me continue to deliver content like what you just saw. So I want to thank you all, and I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.